All right, so now I want to do this as well.
Volume.
And Deba, you're probably gonna like this. Not that you won't, Stacy, but
Uh-oh, everything stopped.
Oh,
it stopped. Time
There,
stopped.
there you are.
Woo! That was loud. Holy moly. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, E7. That's E7.
Stacy, did you get a haircut over there? Is that your Corona 2020? Is that your new beginnings? I like it. It looks great.
I'm donating the hair, so I grew it to.
Nice. No, it looks nice. All right, so I think I'm done with the files. How many did I send? Is that 4?
Oh, wait a minute. I've got notes on the. Oh, okay. Cripple Creek solo. Yeah. Do you want to? We'll download that.
Yes.
Okay. And Careless Love. Ooh. All right. Let me see if I can print that one. I think I can. It is. There.
All right. I think I'm done pecking around on that thing. Well, actually, that's not true. I might want to pull them up and look at it on the computer so I can look at it with y'all. I got it right here, though. Duh. So let's look at that chromatic schematic fretboard automatic. That's pretty daunting.
Right. Let's see. No, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get finding notes on the guitar. What's it say at the top, Glenn?
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. We have.
Can you?
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. There's Cripple Creek, Careless Love.
Is your mic able to turn your microphone down just a little bit? Seems a little hot.
Sure. Oh yeah, I'm way up there on high.
Yeah.
All right. How's that?
A little more, if you don't mind.
He doesn't like my voice.
Oh, there you go. That's good. You're getting better.
Oh, look. I'll turn it down more. We
Yeah.
can't hear him now.
Well, no, that's our microphone going to him. That's not what.
Oh,
That's
you
not.
sure?
Yeah.
All right.
No. He.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Cool.
All right. Is that the one that says finding notes on the guitar?
You got it. You betcha.
Got it.
Finding the notes on the guitar. So this is useful. This is your chromatic scale, basically, is what it
We
is.
can't hear him.
Okay, we'll turn it up a little bit. All right.
The chromatic scale, can you hear that?
I got to turn it up a little bit.
Microphone chickadee check, 9,000. Here, watch this. Let me give you just a little more. Is that a little better?
Mm-hmm.
Is that too much? Tell me if it's too loud, please.
Now we can go even a little louder.
A little louder I could go?
Yeah.
I mean, don't tempt me. I'm a huff and puff.
What happens here? 'Cause I haven't been that.
You haven't been that far.
Okay, how about that? Is that a little better?
Yeah.
Okay, is that too much for you?
Well, here,
Anyone
I
else?
can interpret.
Well, she might be able to translate for you there.
Yeah, I'll translate.
That's right. You're a good friend. All right, so we have the chromatic deal. So I think the key to this is to know what strings your guitar, or what are the strings on your guitar.
Okay. So we've got. You want us to tell you?
If you want to, yeah. I mean, that's where you start. You know, if we know that, I mean, the reason the chromatic scale is useful is because it allows you to navigate your fretboard, and you know what any note you're playing at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So you know you're not just doing something and not knowing what you're doing. It's part of being able to have true understanding of the guitar. So yeah, so you have your E string. Do we all in agreement with that, or is that new material? Is that we all got that? Cool. So we all know the strings.
Well, I know the first three strings pretty good.
So the high E.
1, 2, 3. I'm not another.
High, yeah, high E.
That's E, F, G.
And then your second string is what?
You have
D, E, C, B, C, B, C,
The
B.
string is B. The string is B, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
so there's two rules. One is between B and C, there's no sharp. And between E and F, there's no sharp.
Yeah.
Between every other note, there's a sharp in between each letter. So if you have G,
This is a struggle for me. I can't hear.
G.
the G,
Yes, that's
the
fourth
third-
string.
Well, I
Okay.
can't hear.
third string open,
That's G, A.
you have G, yep. So the chromatic scale, if you look at that page, if you want, you have your first fret is going to be a G sharp.
Right here.
Well, see, this is,
All right,
I can't hear.
Just, yeah, okay,
What?
I'm showing you, okay.
What?
Okay,
Tell
this,
me.
this is G, this is your G string,
Okay, I know.
that's G sharp.
Oh, G sharp,
Yeah.
okay. All right, okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I haven't said anything. Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm joking, Martin. So then you have, after G sharp, you have, after G sharp comes, ooh, we got nice echoes around here,
I know that.
right? So then after your A, good, after second fret, after A, you have A sharp.
Right there. Oh, okay. Oh, so the symbol for that is, okay. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I know where A is and I know where G is, but the one above it is A sharp, okay?
Right.
I often hit it by mistake.
So your sharps are your number, old school number signs, new school hashtags, or tic-tac-toe board, whatever you want to call it. That's all. But so anyway, so you can do that with every string. So if you want to look at a piece of music, you can always know what you're playing. If you want to pull up any piece of music, let's look at Cripple Creek over there if you want to pull that up. And you can apply this chromatic formula action.
Oh. See, I don't know where that is.
Okay, look, I'll show you. Let him play.
I got the first three.
Oh, everything's sharp. So that's it's a little bit hard.
Forgive me, I lost my S on that. I asked on the chat, does everybody have the music pulled up? The Cripple
Oh.
Creek.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. Well, this song is in the key of A, and it has some cool bass walks. Here, I'll go ahead and play through it if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a, you know, through the instrumental of that, has some nice walks targeting the root of every chord every time you change. So that's nice. We can learn from that and apply that to everything. But so if you look at your very, very first note here, what is that note? Does anybody know? What are we working with?
It's an E.
Are you sure?
On
this Cripple Creek.
No, I assume it's an E since it's in the, there's nothing, it's not a sharp or a flat, so it's a.
So let's talk about how to read this tablature here.
Okay.
So you have 6 lines there, and each line represents one of your strings. And the top line represents your first string, and the bottom line represents your 6th string.
Okay. Top.
So when you see that 0, that's telling you you're going to play the 5th string 0 fret, which is open string. And above it, you see a chord, and it says underneath verse, what letter is written there?
Wait a minute. I'm confused, Glenn. All right. So you're okay. It says up here, 2nd position. So, and then it has, I mean.
Hang on just a second. So you're looking at the wrong one. Look at the Cripple Creek, not the 2 pages. Look at the Cripple Creek with the 1 page, please.
Oh, okay. There. We're on the wrong page.
Now it'll make more sense.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there were 2 there. Okay. Okay. All right. Got it. Okay.
Cool. So yeah, so here we have the accompaniment and with some bass walks. And we have our very first note that we're going to play in our accompaniment. Do you see that now?
That's on the, okay. Now, if I'm looking at the right thing, that's the 2nd string.
Can you reverse
Which is
that?
a B, it would be a B, right?
Hang on just a second. Can you reverse that? So your top line is going to be your 1st string, and the bottom line is going to be your 6th string.
Oh, okay. So then it's going to be your A string.
You got it. There you go.
Open. Okay.
Nice. Yep. Now we're on the same page.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay.
Nice. And so your second, the letter above the A string, do you see that it says
Yeah.
A? Right
Yeah.
there?
The A. Right.
That's going to be your chord that you're
Oh,
playing.
okay. All right.
So then on beat 2, you have, it's on gotta, you have a whole bunch of numbers there.
Yeah.
That's just going to be the chuck of your A chord.
So you're going to, okay, that's,
There you go.
you don't know that
Open
chord
A.
yet, but yeah.
Where's that? Open A, right? Why are you?
That's the chord A. That
Oh, the chord A.
yeah.
Yep, we've done it before. Martin
You know
knows
that
it.
chord. Yeah.
Martin, you know it. We've done it.
I was just a
Oh,
string.
okay. Okay. Wait. What, Glenn?
I thought Martin has done that before. Well, I thought
You've
we've
done the A
learned that
chord, haven't
before.
you?
I don't know which one.
These 3 strings,
I
right?
think we learned it the very first class, which I don't think you weren't there the first one, Stacy. Do you know the A chord, Stacy?
See, can't hear, can't see.
Yeah, the first class of this class.
What's that?
You
You
didn't do
didn't?
it. Did the A7.
I don't remember what goes on. I
Yeah.
think he's done A7. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So Martin, if you do the A7 chord, I'll take you to the A chord. Do you remember A7? Cool.
Is
So-
that it up there? No.
Yeah, I think so. That
Yeah,
was it.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now put your first finger on the 2nd fret of your 3rd string.
What first finger?
This one.
So you end up having this shape right here.
Uh.
You use these 3 fingers and it has this shape.
Okay.
You got it?
That is right.
Yep, looks like it.
Close. This. Yeah. You got to get all 3. Yeah. That one.
I got it up here.
No.
Oh, get it all
there,
together?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
There it is. Cool. So, if you look at Martin, if you look at back at the music now in Cripple Creek, the very first beat is the open A string.
Battery's dead.
Okay.
I'll be back.
They'll be back. Okay. All
We'll
right.
be right here.
Carry on.
Okay. All right.
Is it 8 o'clock yet?
I can help him with this. Okay.
Martin, you're doing great, by the way. I'm real proud of you, buddy. You're doing fantastic. But he can't hear me, so
No.
so now we can make fun of him. Oh, I'm just playing. So yes, so do you see on beat 3 of the very first measure now?
Yes.
And that has the second fret of which
Right.
string?
Okay. So that's the A string with a 2.
Good. And the next one is that 4? Yep. And then your measure 2, and it tells you what chord you're going to play.
Okay.
Yep. But on beat 1, you're going to have that boom. See? And
Oh,
you see how
okay.
it's
So
a
it's
0,
going to be all right. So it's,
which that's going to be, look at you, change the string. That's going to be your 4th string open.
all right. 1, 2, 3.
There it is. Good. Now on beat 3, you're going to go back to your A chord. Right. So but on beat 3 of your A chord, you're going to have a boom, which is, they're telling you that you're going to play which one?
All right. That's going to be okay.
You got it?
Yeah. This is it's confusing to me because I read music and I've never done tablature before. So that's okay. That might make a lot of sense to Martin.
Which?
Well, yeah, I can write it out in standard notation if you'd like to.
Okay. So Martin, this is your 5th string. It's open.
Yeah.
All right. And then you make your A chord and you just go, you play.
Oh, you play the A open and then you play the chord.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where does that say play the chord?
Right. Right here. You could.
That plays the chord?
Yeah.
Oh.
I can maximize that a little bit. Yeah. There we go.
All right. Are we all on the same page so far?
Yes.
I'm drinking my hand sanitizer.
That's vodka in there. I know it. You need it.
It kills everything. So,
That's right. Oh, I knew Martin would be back once I brought out the vodka.
Really.
So yes, then we have on the A chord leading into the E7 chord,
Okay.
we have a nice little walk down.
All right. So we have to go. Yeah.
Right, now you're on your E7 chord. And it's going to be just a boom, chuck, and then when you go to your A chord, it's a boom, chuck, just straight up default that we've talked about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. That makes sense to me too. And Martin, if it doesn't to you, I can show you. That's going to be.
Debbie, you're getting this, don't you?
Yeah. It makes sense now. Just like I said, it's just new to me because I've never done tablature. But you've got it. Yeah.
Well, you're doing it now. What do you think of that? You actually, you grewed. You done growed.
D.
All right. D is like this. You know that one.
Oh, but that's D,
Yeah.
and that's the D chord.
Right. You're right.
What's-
This is the note you play.
And where's the D? Where's the D note?
A D note. That's your.
You don't know.
That's going to be your 4th string open, D.
Yeah. 4th string open.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Stacy, that's a pretty sharp looking guitar there, by the way. Telling you, very nice.
Okay, let's see here.
All right, so these chords kind of change kind of fast on
What's
this.
the D? What's the D?
So you'll see when they change from the D to the A and the E to the A, it's half measures. Half measures don't avail much, but in this song they do.
Okay, so we're second line, and there, see, we're going from D.
I mean, you know, yeah. Here, I'll do the very first. I'll do the first two measures.
Okay, starting from the top here.
Yep, from the top.
Okay.
So it goes 2, 3, 4. And then it goes. So when you're switching to the E7 and to the A, those are half measures. And then the boom chuck choice here is the default boom chuck pattern that we've, you know, been dead horse kicking, which is why I do it. So once we see stuff like this, we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That Glen wasn't crazy after all. Well, don't push my luck, I know. Push my luck. All right. So we have that. And you have your verse and your chorus. Your chorus is going to be a little different than your verse. On your chorus, you don't go to the... Does anybody want to pick out which one you don't go to? Who sees that?
Oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? Oh, you don't?
On the chorus of the tune?
Yeah, there's no D in there.
That's right. Look at that. There you go. Yep. So it's up to Cripple Creek, I'm going on a run. I'm going up to Cripple Creek to have a little fun. Going up to Cripple Creek, I'm going in a whirl. Going up to Cripple Creek to see my little girl. I got a girl at the head of the creek. Going up to see her about the middle of the week. Kiss her on the mouth just as sweet as any wine. Wraps herself around me like a sweet potato vine. Going up to Cripple Creek, I'm going on a run. Going up to Cripple Creek to have a little fun. Going up to Cripple Creek, I'm going in a whirl. Going up to Cripple Creek to see my little girl. And then that's when Deborah comes in with the solo part and melts our faces, hearts, and heads. So yeah, it has a nice little walk. I would just take each one nice and easy. And Martin, we haven't talked about a lot of this stuff yet with you, but we
Well,
will.
I'm picking up a little bit. I like this. I like this.
Good. Good. All right, well, let's look at another piece of music around here.
Okay, let me take this, make sure we've got a copy of that. That is.
Let's look at the other Cripple Creek, the one that you had.
Ooh, that with all those sharps. Yeah, it was on. Okay, that's that one.
So this is going to represent playing the lead, or, you know, solo, playing out front, playing the melody. It's like, come on, kick it. And then somebody goes, meow, meow, meow. That's what that's for. Hey, Martin, can you see the top of the Cripple Creek and maybe read that to us?
Right there.
Since, you know, I don't want to, I mean, I can hear you. I'm sure we can. Can you see that?
Can you read that? Oh, I can, wait a minute. I
The
can,
top line?
there we go. Oh, let me make it bigger.
Let's see if it helps us. Let's see if it helps guide the,
That doesn't,
She's up.
wait a minute. There we go.
that's all right.
There.
All right. That's E, F, G. I don't know what the A means.
That's A.
It's okay, A. And A, E, U, C, D, F, E, forgot that one. That's
A.
So hang on just a second. So this is what I was talking about up here where it says Cripple Creek.
Oh,
You have Cripple Creek is written in the key of A. In most instances, the key of A will mean the second position. This procedure is accomplished by using your first finger for all of your second fret notes, the second finger for all of the third fret notes, the third finger for the fourth fret, and the little finger for the fifth fret notes. Since there are no first fret notes in this arrangement, we can stay hovering in second position. Is that helpful?
oh,
Yep.
yeah,
You're in
yeah, that
second
does, because
position,
it
Stacy.
gives you, yeah, that,
Does that make sense, Deborah, what second position is? So take your booger finger and and put it on the second fret of your first string. Right here. That's all.
second fret of first string, right
Yep.
there.
That's second position right there. That's all they're saying. And guess what this is?
Wait a minute, I got
If
a,
this is second position, what do you think this is?
I can't, wait, I can't see where you are.
If
So
this
the-
is first position,
Yeah,
this is second position, what do you think this is?
that's gonna be third position, fourth position.
That's, isn't that funny? That's all they mean by that. All right, I guess I can continue. Let me see if we have anything else that's helpful here. Cripple Creek is a very fast tune unless I sing it. You know, I like to slow it down and make everybody hate it. Oh, just joking. It is also only 4 measures long for the first part and 4 measures for the second. So that's very what we were talking about earlier. Each part repeats. I've written the tune, he written the tune in A, and then the A part variation. The same format with the second part. It's such a short piece that this was the only way to lengthen it. Da ba ba ba. He has some hammer-ons in there. Anybody see that right there? Can
Where it says HO?
HO. Yep, that's not homeowner.
Not anymore.
Yes. So we have your hammer-ons. You should have them down pretty well by now. I can get you some stuff for that, actually. Good luck with it and have fun. Oh, by the way, this tune, when played at full speed, is supposed to be over in 15 seconds. Well, says who? Oh, I'm just joking. No, you can actually go out there and I'll put a link up here. Seeing Doc Watson and them play it. They burn it. If you can play Cripple Creek at this speed, then you should not fear any parking lot jam, nor should you fear it anyway, but whatever. If you can't play it slow, you won't be able to play it fast. There you go. At least you know it's not me saying that, but I do say that. All right. Cool.
Okay, will you play it for us so we can hear what it's supposed to sound like?
Let me go ahead and play that there. Oops. Yeah, that was right. I just didn't like it though, but that's okay. It's been a long time since I played it. Yeah, that's right. Huh? Why is it so like that? Oh, because I'm on the wrong deal. So you have your pickup measures here, beat 2, 3, and 4. So you would not play the very first measure if you're going to repeat it. Does that, see what I'm saying? So you have your very first, your very last measure, excuse me. I didn't do the, so at the very, very beginning of the song, you have the 0, 2, and 4 on your high E string. That's a walk-up measure.
Okay, explain a walk up. What a walk up?
Or it's a, excuse me, a pickup measure. Remember?
Okay, all right. Now, can you? I don't think you covered the hammer on or how to do it.
So hammer on is where you strike the string, and without striking it again, you put your finger down and make it sound. There you go. Who did that?
I did. Is that okay?
I don't know. We'll let that pass for now.
Oh no, it's not right. I mean,
I don't know. It's no, I'm just joking. Yes, that's right. It's perfect. That's why. Yes, and I'm just playing with you.
All right.
I take everything literally.
Well, all he's doing is he's doing E, F, G, and A right here.
Yeah.
A is right there.
Doing an F sharp though and a G sharp.
Yeah. Get one more.
F,
Oops.
Yeah, to see you've got your tablature down here like this. So, right there.
Well, I don't.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I've never
You
seen
can't see
it
that?
before, so I don't know what you're talking about. Temperature.
Yeah,
You see that? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's your hammer on.
that's pretty.
Sorry. Yeah, so that'll give you something to play during the break. So what you'll do is you'll sing a verse and a chorus, and then somebody will take a break. And then you come back, sing a verse, chorus, and somebody takes a break. And the break is like this right here. It's the lead. It's the melody.
Okay. Question. In the second measure on the second line, on the tablature, it looks like there's a hammer on, but there's not one above it on where you have it noted. It's at the A.
I guess I'm confused with your question. So are you talking about the second line on the very first page? You have 0 on the second string, HO to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then go to the next measure, and you have 2, 4, 2, hammer on 2.
That's what that is it's a tie, because if you look at the actual music above it, it's a half note.
Oh, okay. So how can you tell the difference between a tie and a hammer on?
Because a hammer on would have you striking a different number, like maybe an open string or a lower number.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Oh, we have our 8th notes here. We want to pay attention to those. What are we going to do with those?
Let's see, it's 4, 4 times, so 1. Oh, it would be 1 and 2 and 3, 4.
Good. So, right. So on your downstroke is going to be on the numbers, and your upstroke, which is going to be to the sky, is going to be on the and. So the very first time we do a down up is in the first full measure of the piece, beat 2. So it'll be down, down, up, down, down. And the count would be 1, 2, and 3, 4.
So with the down and up stroke, does that make a difference in the sound, or is it just a convenience for your fingers? Or, I mean,
Yeah, you can hear a difference, and it's convenient too. It's because you want to be organized, you know, because you want to work it. You have to work it out. If you're not working it out, that means it's like your transmission in your car. If your gears aren't lined up, what do?
that's the mechanic here.
Yeah, you can't. You have no power. You know, you screw up the whole clock or all the transmission system. Anyway, yes, it makes a difference. That's why they have you do it for sure. But then you have on the second line of your very first page, you have that hammer on, and that measure is going to be. You're just going to do a downstroke on that very first beat, and then you're hammering on. So then you're not going to be doing your right hand on your up. Does that make sense? So then when you hit that very next two, that's going to be a downstroke. So even though you're playing eighth notes, I'll demonstrate. So even though you're playing eighth notes, you're not doing anything with your right hand. So it's going to be just down and then down again. So see what I'm down, down. And if I wasn't doing that, I would go down, up, down. But I'm hammering on, so I'm just doing down and then down. So I'm just
Yeah, that's going to take a little practice.
right. So that, but then, so then you have your down up after that. What's cool is you don't have to do anything with your left hand. You're already there. It's all a right hand kind of thing.
I'll need to practice that.
And this could be a little tricky too. If you want to look at the first page, second line, the very last measure, you're doing a cross string down and then up. You're doing a down starting on the inside, and then you're doing an outside up. See what I'm saying? You have the third fret of your second string, and then you have the open string of your first string, which is down up. So you're doing a downstroke on your B string, D note. All right, we have a little feedback going, a little loop happening there. Whose is that, I wonder? There you go, very good. There it is, Stacy. I saw you do it. Yes. Down, up. Where's your dog at, Deba? Don't you have a dog? Oh, there you. Oh, look at that. Nice. Look at that doggy. What's up, puppy? What's up? Beautiful. Nice.
What's the hammer on?
Oh, it's where you go, you hit the
See, I
string.
got the light mine. I can't see.
Oh. So play a string. Then you hit it with your finger. Yeah. But
dog. How old is your dog? I'd unmute it. Oh, yeah, you're unmuted, aren't you, Deb? I can see it's not muted. There you go. I can't hear you, though. No.
This is, yeah, this is helpful right here. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So you have that that little hammer on repeated throughout this piece. There you go. Little repetition for you. Oops. And then you have it on the second page too. That's a nice little easy. Actually, I forget how easy it is. That's something everybody should learn. Every clown in town should be going Deedle D on that little boom chuck.
Yeah, it's a pretty tune. Oh, just have to.
Well, thank you. I didn't write it myself.
What's the other one called? Cripple Creek. Yeah, the band used to play.
Yep. There she saves me, or whatever it is. Yeah, that's a great one. All right, so let's look at the next one if we don't mind. So this is the same kind of idea. Has bass walks and boom chucks. And the bass walks lead very nice into the root note of the proceeding.
Oh, what sheet are we on now? Or
If we look at the Careless Love,
oh, okay, Careless.
yep, process elimination. I'm just saying, you
That's
know.
it.
That's how I figured it out. Yes, I did hit the wrong one. I didn't hit what was written. Here's what was supposed to be written. I just wanted to stay true with the key. I like that. It's good. So it's all just walking from one root note to the other using the key of the piece. What key of the piece? What piece are we? What key is this piece in? Does anybody know?
Key of D.
Ooh,
It says it right there.
I know. Hey, I'll tell you what. You'd be surprised. They could sometimes the clues can
We need
be
to
right
cross
there
that
in our
out.
face.
All right.
We might not see them all. That's okay. So yes, you have the 1 chord, then it goes to the 5 chord. And then it goes back to the 1 chord. And then at one point it goes to the 4 chord. Here's your D7. Now here's your G. here's what's cool too is key wise, it's very similar because, you know, D is related to A. That's all. So you're in the same vicinity. Vicinity? Yeah, vicinity. I don't know why I couldn't think of that for a second. You're in the same vicinity as the other song, but you're on a different street. Love, oh love, oh careless love. Love, oh love, oh careless love. Love, oh love, oh careless love. You mean all the world to me. So there it is. Nice little bass walk to accompany you through it. And that'll stand. I mean, I've heard him play it in the second half of Frank Hamilton over and over again, and this would stand up. So when this one starts here, you have, which note does it start on? Anybody see that one?
D.
You got it. Yep. So yeah, that's your root note of the chord and the root note of the key. There you go. Who did that? Nice. So then on beat 3, you're going to use the 7th of the key, which is a C sharp note. Does anybody see how we figured out that C sharp using our chromatic, what do we call it? Chromatic, automatic, schematic, fingerboard.
Well, it's the fourth fret on the second, on the A string.
So how you'd, yeah, I mean, so the logic is you would have A sharp, B, C, C sharp. That's all. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're following the logic on it as well. So then, speaking of the next note, then what is that?
That's going to be a B.
You got it. Yep. And then?
And then an open, just a A.
Yep. And then your A7 chord. Martin knows the A7 chord.
Yeah. It's just the A without that middle note.
So you could probably use your first finger to walk from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret of your 2nd measure. Your other option would probably be using your 2nd finger, but then you're using your pinky. And if you didn't want to do that, you could use your 1st finger, walking up to your D chord. Does that make sense?
It'll make sense to you when you take a
Yeah,
look at it.
okay.
Yeah. It will.
Oh, it'll make real sense.
It actually makes more sense than looking at the notes. I mean,
It does, yeah. It does make sense. It's logical for sure. And you know, the cool thing is they're usually using either your open string, second fret, or fourth fret.
oh, Glenn, I have a question though. Okay, underneath the designation of A seventh on the second measure, there's the on the tablature it shows an open fifth string. Are you playing that first, or is it? I mean, I don't understand. Okay, you've got A seventh, which is the chord.
Yep. So
And then, but what's with the zero under? I mean, the open. Do you play the open string too?
yeah. So what you have is on beat 1 of your second measure.
Yeah.
You have an open A, and then beat 2, you're strumming the chord.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
Right. So that's the boom chuck that we always talk about.
Okay.
My dead horse boom chuck talk. And then when you're walking from your second fret of your A string to your fourth fret of your A string, you're walking up right up the scale to which note?
Oh, I'm sorry. What measure are you on?
Third measure.
Third measure. So so you're doing the G or the D open, and then the A open.
Right. So go back to the second measure. So the measure before that, your bass walk on your A7 chord is going to be second fret, fifth string. Do you see that? And then your fourth fret, fifth string. And then it's very convenient that the next note is D, because it's very, it's a half step away.
Okay. I think we can get it with a little practice.
Which leads you right into the boom chuck that we do anyway.
First.
Boom chuck, boom chuck. And then you have a whole walk from a D chord to a D chord. Hey, that's pretty cool. You have movement without going anywhere.
I like that.
There. So you're not just all static, with a balloon on your head. Martin, no yawning, please. He didn't hear that.
So our homework is to prepare this for you for next week and play it, right?
Your homework is to memorize everything. When I talk about chromatic, you better know what I mean.
All right.
You have to be able to navigate any note you play. You have to know what they are, what it is.
All right. We have our work cut out.
Yep. But you don't have to. Rome wasn't built overnight. Just take it a bite at a time.
All
right, cool. Well, thank you. Any other questions?
Do you have any questions?
Let's go with this. Yeah.
All right. Well,
thank you.
I think, I can't sit down and play it now, but I think by next week we can probably do it.
I can hammer over something.
You guys will do a duet. And also, here's one thing throughout the week that I've done with even Helga. You guys know Helga.
I'm sorry, what?
Helga is a student in another class. Deba knows Helga, and so does Stacy. So one thing I've been doing with Helga is she's been recording, and I'm going to record it and send it back to her. So she records herself on her phone. And she has a video too, but she hasn't been able to upload it to me. So that's a great thing to do, is be able to play and hear yourself. You're able to objectively take a look at it. Plus, you're able to send it over here to my side of the world, and we're just able to keep the communication going, and that's a great way to grow.
Okay, great. All right.
I promise. Yep. All right,
Well,
cool.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. Stacy?
You're
Deb?
welcome. Take care.
Okay,
All right.
see you next
Practice,
week.
All right.
practice washing your hands. Hey, Martin, go wash your hands.
Yes, go wash your hands.
For crying out loud. All right, we'll see you
Wash
guys.
every
Peace.
20
Thanks, guys.
minutes.
That's right. All right. I know
Right.
we slacked off. We missed it 3 times on this whole thing. We've been here for an hour.
We got it. All right. Tuning out, signing out, or whatever you do here.